I'm Lucy Alexander with the AIChE Institute for Sustainability here at the 2015 Carbon Management Technologies Conference with Janet Gellici, who is the Chief Operating Officer of the National Coal Council. So Janet, can you talk a little bit about the relevance of CCUS today?
Absolutely. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. So CCS, carbon capture and storage, is a critical part of our efforts to reduce CO2. We see a lot about renewable energy and their contribution, but in particular, I don't think we're going to get there without the use of CCS technologies, carbon capture and storage technologies. A number of institutions have talked about the critical role that CCS is going to play and the need for what we now see as policy parity. We recently completed a study for the Secretary of Energy on the need to bring policy parity to CCS. And by that, Lucy, I'm talking about the need to put CCS technologies on an equal footing with renewable energy, for example. So providing the same financial incentives, providing the same types of policy incentives. So investment tax credits, production tax credits that are now offered to the renewables energy industry have been very successful at advancing those types of technologies, and we believe it can do the same for carbon capture and storage technologies. We also feel that carbon capture and storage technologies actually have an opportunity to provide a greater impact on the reduction of CO2 technologies. It's able to get us more bang for the buck, as it were, so we'll be able to reduce CO2 to a greater extent than we feel that renewables will be able to do.
Okay. And how do you see the future of energy, say, in 20 years or 50 years?
Coal is still going to continue to be a tremendous energy source. We're seeing increased electrification of the world. Non-OECD nations are increasing their use of fossil energy resources, not just coal but natural gas. So continuing well into the future, projections are out to 2050 that 80% of the energy is going to be coming from fossil fuels, coal and oil and natural gas. So especially in these emerging economies where it's so important. Electrification, we're seeing an increased electrification of our economies, so those primary energy needs are increasingly going to be coming from electric power, and those are going to be fueled by fossil fuels.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me today, Diana.
You're welcome. Thank you.